I was the winner of the Apprentice, the Donald Trump show in America.
Yes.
Unfortunately, only for it happened. It took place here only for one season, and I was the winner.
Okay, so tell me about it, because that was huge. So 20 years ago, they brought it here.
Imagine that YouTube didn't exist, and I have only tapes, the classical tapes, in my house. There is no digital recording out of it.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
My name is George Stroumboulis, and I'm extremely passionate about traveling the world, meeting new people, and learning about new businesses. Join me as I sit down with other entrepreneurs to learn about their journeys. This episode of Invigorate Your Business starts now.
I'm sitting down with Mr. Thanos Marinis.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, here in Athens, Greece.
Hello, George.
Yeah, and we've known each other for a few years now, and you know, through social media, through seeing what you're doing, you're incredible in the design, the construction space when it comes to new hotels, new homes, renovations. So you have that whole side of it, which I love seeing, like just those updates, and you have that beautiful European style and that Greek flair. And then you have the other side of it where you're a TV personality here in a Greek TV show, right?
Autographs.
Autographs, right?
I haven't printed them yet. Yes. You know, I used to be on TV as well. 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
I didn't know this.
I was the winner of the Apprentice, the Donald Trump show in America.
Yes.
Unfortunately, only for it happened. It took place here only for one season, and I was the winner.
Okay, so tell me about it, because that was huge. So 20 years ago, they brought it here.
Imagine that YouTube didn't exist, and I have only tapes, the classical tapes, in my house. There is no digital recording out of it.
Are you kidding me? So that was like truly, you're in your 20s, you do the show, and it's showing the ultimate entrepreneur. So what was it like, that experience?
It was beautiful, not as expected, because finally in Greece, you know, it didn't have a continuation, and I didn't get any big success out of it. Of course, I managed to meet my wife, Sonia.
Through that show?
Yes, because the job that I acquired, it took more than one. I was there for 2.5 years after the contract finished.
No way.
Yes, it was on media. A really big company back then, Imaco, with more than 7-8 magazines, 3 radio stations, and the expansion in Europe, Turkey. And it was a really good years. I spent there half of my day, and the half of the other day was on the factory unit that we used to have, doing kitchen cabinetry, wardrobes, and all this stuff. Yes.
So you won that show. You won a beautiful wife.
I met Sonia.
That's amazing.
We have 2 kids, and but the reputation was not you know, at the level of the USA. I remember myself when I went the same year I went to Chicago to my relatives there, and when my cousins said to everybody, he's the winner of the Apprentice. Oh, the managers of the shops arrived there.
Oh, yeah.
Please sign us an autograph. Do you want to put a picture with you? And I was shocked.
No,
but you know, that's what I loved I love in USA, and generally it's something that in Greece still is not happening yet. Entrepreneurship. And business and even talking is a taboo.
Why is that? So you win 20 years ago, The Apprentice. It's capital-based business. Like, was that even perceived here in Greece? Like, why didn't that show go on?
The numbers were so low.
They were.
I signed a contract, and I was worried that I wouldn't take the money because the price, it wasn't the price, it was a working position with 200,000 euros per year.
Oh, wow.
It was good money. But
fantastic,
yes. But the numbers were really low. And, you know, in Greece, there is a reputation. I don't know, it's in our subconscious mind. I don't know why we have this. Of course, there is a reason that a businessman, business people generally are not, are fake, are doing illegal stuff all the time, are not following the law. You know, it's a bad reputation. And if you hate money, if you hate money making, then you can get it back. You can achieve it. You can reach the money if you hate it.
Is it because it's ingrained in a socialist mentality here? Like, I'm seeing it now with our new office we opened up, and you start seeing it's different now. It's getting different, but capitalism, someone who's a capitalist is the bad guy. It
Exactly.
seems like the employee and the boss there's a perceived conflict here that doesn't exist in the USA. So
Exactly.
I really try to put myself in the shoes of people here on why is that?
I don't want to talk too much politics here, but the left way of, and the bad left is in our mind. It's still in our mind. We hate capitalism. I don't know why. Maybe because we didn't experience the communist reality as many neighbors around us from Albania, Bulgaria, USSR, of course, and all these companies, Romania, have lived communism. We finally, after the war, the Second World War, we didn't have communists taking over. So I think a part of Greeks, because, you know, there was so much hate between Greeks back then, still continues to think that, you know, a capitalist is the bad guy.
Is the bad guy, yeah. Which is sad because the people that are preaching that are the ones that are also capitalizing their own pockets many times. So it's sad that it's ingrained like that.
It's really sad. And of course, I don't know, it's in our subconscious. I believe that it's something that I try to do myself as well, to believe in money, to talk about money and don't feel guilty about money.
Absolutely.
And because in Greece, if you ask around, you will see that many still think that, I will say it in Greek and translate it, Φτωχός αλλά τίμιος. I'm poor, but I'm you know, following the law. This is something crazy. Of
and
course,
they're proud to say that.
We had examples of illegal business people doing things with the government and becoming super wealthy. Yes, it was a reality, especially from 70s to 90s. Yes, we did have so.
Coffee break. Please, Ella Mesa. We're talking about the politics. Before we do that, have you ever been a frappe guy, or has it always been Freddo Espresso?
I was yeah, every Greek was a frappe. I'm 45 to 46, so I've been in the frappe era. I remember when my dad was building constructions and frappe and bira was, you know, a thing that was everywhere.
Right.
Shaking all the time.
I remember that.
Something that you love, we still love. I mean, I have my relatives from US, from Australia, that love frappe.
You know why?
Why?
So, because we're Vlachi, right? Vlachi, we're the villagers, so we're delayed. And I remember when everybody started drinking Freddo Espresso here, and I would come and I'm like, no, frappe. They would call me like, they would swear at me and call me, what are you, this, frappe? And I'm like, man, just let me drink my coffee. But as I get older, it was rougher on the stomach, right? So I enjoy this. Yeah, it's amazing. And I try to make this back home. It's not the same because you don't have the air here. It's different when you're drinking it in Greece.
Even in Milano, Freddo is not the same as in Greece.
It's not the same.
No.
Okay, so back to this. You love Greece, right? You have family, relatives in Australia. You're connected around the world. You have friends. You have clients that are overseas that come here and build. Why did you choose to stay in Greece? And then we'll start talking about like your business and what you do here. Like why Greece?
I put a lot of emotion and I stayed in Greece. I've been in UK for more than 4 years as a student, and I lived overseas out of Greece, and I loved more the sun and all the atmosphere here. And this was mainly a psychological reason. Of course, during 2000, we had a really good business running. And, you know, the economy was flying, of course, with fake money.
Right.
And then crisis appeared. So although I'm, you know, quite international in terms of, you know, having clients and looking what is happening globally, I chose with Sonia to stay here. Of course, now we said, okay, we may have made a mistake, but the good thing now is that when you're 45 and you have lived all this crisis and you have survived, and you have all this experience, and now you see money coming.
Yes. And
a lot of money coming, and this time is real money, and not inflated money that much. So, you know, you still have some part of your mind looking what is going on outside of Greece, but I still believe now that this is the time for Greece now. I lost 20 years in terms of, you know, all the crisis and all the things that happened, but I think now
20 years, you said?
The next 20 years, I think, the next 10 years for sure, I think Greece is going to fly. And so I will stay here and
so
try to grab the opportunities. Yep.
Right? Like you survived the worst part here. So now it's starting to soar. What was worse for you personally? Was it the COVID years, like business-wise, or was it like the crisis?
No, the crisis. The crisis was insane because it's how hard it is to have employees, to have clients waiting for their money, and to be able to withdraw only 60 euros per day.
It's insane.
Or only 160 euros per month, something like that. The first, when you had, for 2.5 years, you had no banks, no system, nothing to work, no money. I remember I didn't want to fire people.
Yeah.
And I remember myself trying to call friends and said, hey, do you want, because we had the factory unit as well back then. Do you want some paint job in your house? Or do you want to do something in your house to try to give them,
keep them busy
for one single day. And so it was really, really scary that period. COVID was, came after my experience in all this. So I had a really clear mind. Of course, on the construction works, we could work in a good level. So we didn't have all this pressure that like restaurants or bars or other segments of the economy that was completely shut.
Yep.
So we had something running around, and I was looking that money, all this money cutting will bring new chances like now. And this is something that, in Greece still hasn't been achieved in our mind, that money is so much out there.
Right.
And we have to find ways to collect it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was I suppose that I did some good movements, and that's why things are going better and better now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, someone told me on one of my last trips that the COVID wasn't really a big deal for Greece because they had 10 years of crisis preparation.
Exactly.
Right? Like what you guys went through here.
Exactly.
COVID was like, okay, let's go.
Exactly. And of course, the benefits were good. I mean, the medium-sized economy stayed alive.
Yes.
All the benefits of all the employees. So yes, it was not as bad as the previous 5 years that we have experienced. The only problem is that we live more than 10, 15 years, almost 10, 15 years in crisis.
Yeah.
Now there is a boost. I hope it is not a fake boost. I'm sure that it's not a fake boost. I see big investments coming.
Massive.
My issue is that we have to prevent and help out also small scale investments and do some corrections on the tax service. This is a guide, guys. This is a guide for Greece if you want to invest in Greece, from a medium-size businessman that sees that there are some differences, and I don't want Greece to become a Vietnam, for example, big
just corporations and
and 800 euros in salary forever.
Aren't you seeing that already? Like Canadians, Americans, foreigners, they come, they vacation, they go to the big resorts like Costa Navarino, for example, right? Great. People are spending $1,000 a night to stay there for whatever. And then you go, and then the wages in Greece, right? For someone that's working 28 days out of a month in peak season, maybe he's making what, 750 euros?
Yes.
Right? So like that dichotomy of just seeing that is kind of insane. Are you seeing the wages coming up to support that, or are we just going to be exploiting Greece?
Inflation was a good or bad, but it was a good start for many business people to see, I have to take care of my employees as well.
Right.
And now there is the good of capitalism, my friend. You see I see it in my business as well. Tourism has the same problem. Many segments have this issue. If you don't pay, you don't get the good ones.
Right.
So now salaries start to raise.
Yes.
Finally. Demand is higher, and I see good progress on this. Of course, the costs are still high. We still have high taxation. We still have a lot of everyday things that in Greece suck you and take you not only precious time, but also money.
Oh, yeah. And your energy, too.
And energy. Mitsotakis, to be honest, has done a really good job the last 4 years, and Prime Minister and Minister of Economy, Staikouras. But I think that still the taxation thing is, so many thousand pages and not clear. And we have the example of Cyprus, of Bulgaria, of Romania, of Estonia, many countries around us that, for example, have a tax rate, 10% flat tax rate. That everything that goes into your account gets taxed, and you're off all the bureaucracy, all the papers, all the invoices, all this stuff. In Greece, you spend a lot of time and effort to do all this thing and run a business. And for small business owners, this is killing.
Oh yeah,
a killing aspect.
We're the same in the States. Yeah, and last year we officially got fired by our accountant, essentially, because it's become too complicated with opening offices in different parts of the world. It's you need a degree just to be able to do your taxes. It's the same. It's just a lot of wasted energy, and like that simple model of, hey, just tax it and you're good. That would be a dream come true, you know? So a lot of our listeners are from outside. Everyone, even if they don't love Greeks, loves the idea of Greece, vacationing, owning a piece of it, flirting with the idea of possibly retiring there one day. You've worked with several clients outside of the country that have money to invest, and they wanted to build a boutique hotel on an island. They wanted to buy a beautiful flat in Athens and just renovate it. Like that's your expertise, right?
Exactly.
You are a catalyst between people with money, right? And it doesn't have to be crazy money. Someone who wants to invest. And then on this side, on just making it beautiful. And we'll put up photos of your actual work. Like it's phenomenal. Your company is called Pure Made.
Yes.
Right?
Pure Made. One branch is doing the renovation thing, and the other branch is the kitchen cabinetry, wardrobes, and all the interior reconstruction.
Right. And you're based in Kolonaki.
Kolonaki, Solon Street, yes.
So explain, what's Kolonaki to Athens for someone who's never been to Greece? It's a very posh, upscale neighborhood.
It is the
back
posh.
here.
It is the posh neighborhood. I started this. I had this idea. Although I had on northern suburbs, I had a private shop there, and with no rents, no expenses. I choose to come to Kolonaki because during crisis, everything was empty down there.
Yep.
And I had the idea to make the first, not only interior or architectural office there, but also the kitchen cabinetry shop.
Right.
Which in a total urban chic area is not existing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
There's no, and it works, but unfortunately, during all the crisis and all the demonstrations, and then after COVID, I found myself, although I had many architects that I was working with that have their offices around.
Sure.
It's not a habit, to take the metro and come to Kolonaki, have a coffee, FREDDO, and go have your appointment, your meeting with us. And
no, it's a headache now. Our office is in Marousi. No traffic. You should be there in 10 minutes. Every day it takes up to 40 minutes to get there.
Exactly.
Right. So think of the opposite, people living out there. So you have Pure Made, you do incredible stuff. How do you go about bringing people's vision? So my name's George. I'm from Canada. I want to invest $500,000, right? What do I do, Thanos? Because you also help people with, hey, this is the island that's up and coming. This is where you're going to realize your investment. How do you approach that? Like, what's your thought process? This
is a service that I don't know how to call it, but yes, we're not doing real estate, but because we're in the market, we try to give a nice guideline to all of our clients to take something that it's value for money, has a value for money, has a good ROI, and we're trying to protect our clients because although now we're becoming more professionals, many, especially foreigners or Greek Americans, Greek Canadians that have all this emotion thing in their heart as well, are getting used by many professionals here.
Absolutely.
In a bad way.
Yep.
So yes, we try to find good to see what you want. If you want only return, we can focus on small apartments, for example, that could be Airbnb or could be regular rented and give you a nice 6, 7, 10% maybe of a return. Yeah. On the other side, if you have a family, you want to spend some days only in Athens or in an island. An island is another option, and we have and still there's some upcoming islands that have really a nice interest to stay focused and get something. Don't forget, in Greece you can get still now with 50,000 euros you can get a buildable plot in an island, in a cycladic island.
For 50,000 euros, yes. in the Kyklades, like the beautiful, you could get a plot on, name some islands.
Kithnos, Kimolos, for example, Syros, not, of course, by the sea.
Of course.
It's 75,000 euros. Good investments.
Accessible by boat?
By boat. Yeah. Beautiful views on the Gin, on a hill that can build. This is something really cheap even for Greeks.
So I know a lot of people, and I get questions from Canadians I went to university with or school, and like, hey, what should we do? Because they know in my past life I had the real estate platform here, and they ask, someone goes to an island, 50,000, say 100,000, they buy a plot to build a 2-3 bedroom type house, right? Very simple, but something. What are the costs like per square meter? It's more expensive on the islands versus mainland?
Actually, right now, the most important and the main problem is that you can't find credible workforce to do the job. The architect will be fantastic, the mechanical engineer will, and the statics will be fantastic. We build beautiful houses in terms of statics. Don't worry at all, guys, if you're listening. But
phenomenal work.
The builder, the painter, the tiles guy, it's so difficult to find.
So let me ask you.
But the costs are below 2,000 euros for a premium
finishes, everything.
Yes, yes. Of course, Mykonos is not in the conversation. Add 1,500 for Mykonos. But with 2,000 euros, still you can make nice, beautiful houses with a key in the hand, as we say in Greece.
That's amazing. So labor force here, a lot of the immigrants have left over the years, right? Is that the problem? Why there's no laborers here to do that?
Yes, I've experienced the Albanian. During 90s, I experienced the Albanians coming, and it was really saving for our economy. It saved our economy. All these people now are at their 50s, 60s, and now they get off the business.
Yeah, and they made
unfortunately,
money.
their kids are not following. It's the same that Greeks used to do.
Yes, they're
not following. Although the money is good, it was hard making money, and all the parents want something. I don't know. Their experience. This go to the university, get a degree, get a salary. I don't know. I don't agree with that, but I respect it. And this is the main problem. We don't have a working force, and unfortunately, the policy that Syriza and Mitsotakis is following is that, okay, we take some, we have a daily coming especially from Turkey, with, although we're experiencing every single day people coming, immigrants, or legal or illegal, coming to Greece, refugees sometimes as well. We don't have this system to see who is coming, what is capable of doing, and register him or her and
document them and
put them in business. We have lack of everyday workforce. Sometimes I have to pull down a few walls in a building, and this is a job that you don't need any expert guy to do it. And I can find.
You can't
although I have 20, 25 people working for us, we can find a guy just to pull down a wall and transfer all the truss down to the bin.
So then what are these large, every day you're hearing about huge American international brands, W Hotels, Marriott Hotels, One and Only, Nobu. Everyone's flocking here and they're building massive or boutique and beautiful places. So are you seeing a lot of people, are they bringing in their own construction crews, or what's available here is just being absorbed by these big?
No, this Dubai thing is not happening in Greece yet. I don't know if you know, in Dubai, for example, they bring working staff from India.
Steal their passport until they're done.
Yes, for 2-3 years and then back home. We don't have this policy yet in Greece, but they have, they trust big companies that can run all this.
Right.
This is something that I'm afraid of. When Ellinikon starts really, not now the demolition because it's 7 billion euros construction work there. I'm afraid that all these 50,000 people that are demanded to do all this project will take everyone out of the business. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to import some stuff later on the next upcoming 2 years. I hope the legal situation will be solved because, all the paper thing is something really that goes very, very slow in Greece.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we will demand it, especially small scale businesses like us will have a really big problem. And, number one is you live in globally, and you know that how much serious it is to be credible and deliver on time.
Yes,
this is the main issue in Greece. We have to deliver on time.
Yes, but you have that mindset.
Yes,
Like
and to be honest with you, I owe a lot to my clients that made us think that way
Yeah.
and be more precise, because all of us said, okay, it's not Tuesday, it's Thursday.
Yeah.
You'll have it on Monday. No, you'll have it on Thursday.
So give me an example of a time where you didn't deliver on time with a client that was from outside and it was a good learning opportunity for you. Like, were you dealing with a Canadian one time and you missed a deadline? Like, what did that look like? Because with my team, even here, right, or even outside of the States, and again, I'm not saying the American mentality is better or worse, right? But I'm
The
Canadian.
atmosphere.
The atmosphere. I live in the States. I'm Canadian and I'm American and a Greek citizen. I love the States. I love the framework. It's go, go, go. It's make it happen. And with our other offices around the world, it takes time, and it has taken time to get them up to that mentality. Like, nope, a client sent a message right now. We need to respond right now. And a lot of that attitude, like, oh, don't worry, we'll get back to them. It's like, no, that's not going to fly here. So how did you shift? Like, I'm sure just having exposure to foreigners made you...
Here comes the Philotimo thing in Greece. It's a word that many of you Greeks love. I hate it because if things were working perfectly, you had no reason to have Philotimo.
Philotimo. And it's become very cliche.
I will do my job from here to here. Then you'll take this, you'll put it here. So there's no need for Philotimo, someone to start here and finish here. Someone starts here and finishes here.
Right.
So Philotimo, but on this case, works. We do our best. If it is something physical, we'll fix it.
Right.
If it's something that, has to do with the government, has to do with paperwork, this is something that we have to inform in advance our client from overseas that, wait, this is Greece. Give us some time for this license.
Yes.
I remember I had a 2 villas project in Mykonos, and the owner, after 2 years of delays, because we wanted to build a swimming pool, and we had to pass from an architectural committee that was doing boards only twice per year for 400 cases. And there was a huge delay on this. Finally, she couldn't trust me. She didn't trust me. She put a lawyer behind my back to see if I say the truth. And it was insane. And of course, I understood her. But I said, hey, this is great. She said, I thought it was European Union. It is European Union, but. So in terms of bureaucracy, we have to put all the things in front at the beginning with the client. So in terms of the paperwork, it's always a question mark, but sometimes we have to be, aware that something may appear.
Yes.
On the other part, the physical part, sometimes it works better because we put this personal effort. We put this extra craftsmanship. For example, the plumber will build this wall if it is necessary to move on.
Right. They get crafty like that, right?
Yes. And this is the Greek way, which is beautiful on this. It works.
Absolutely.
It works.
So 2004 Olympics, okay? On the outside, my God, the Greeks are being Greeks. The Greeks are late, bad reputation. It's never going to be done. They already started looking at other sites where they're going to do it, right? And have it just in case. And the Greeks were just kind of like, we'll figure it out. And in the end, they figured it out. So like, that's the craftiness when it comes to the culture as well. Like, no stress, we'll get it done. There's good and bad to that.
We don't like the deadlines, but we're good on the last minute deliveries.
Yeah, it's so true.
It is true. It is amazing. I remember myself as a student, I was doing the same.
Same.
I told you it's in our subconscious mind. I know it's in our system.
It really
to
is.
have a pressure, a creative pressure. I love creative pressure, but we don't follow the deadlines, and we don't, stay there and look at our project a month before delivery. We deliver it the last day.
And it comes out well.
It comes out perfect. And the good thing with the Greek reality as it is right now is that the craftsmanship is really, really good and a high level. Okay,
craftsmanship. Good segue into when you're doing a new hotel, for example, right? Or a space. I've always said this, the quality that comes out of Greece, Europe, right? Because you're buying cabinets from Italy maybe, or Germany, or the products are just on another level here, right? And the selection and the quality, and it just has a different design flair than back in North America in general. How do you go about picking the right materials when it comes from the lighting to the cabinets to the flooring. Like, what's your process in general, and who do you like to position with, like types of suppliers?
We play expensive there, and what we try to do is to educate our clients and say this is the only thing that works for you, and this is the only thing that will last for 25, 30, 40 years.
Okay.
And it's a matter of trust there. I mean, my policy, and this is what I learned from the previous generation, my father ran the business as well, the kitchen cabinetry business, is that good materials save your life and give you sales, have you in the market forever, keep you in the market forever. So our policy is this. Of course, we test. Many tests happens, when I have for example, a new material, I try it on myself. For example, I'm building now a house, a holiday house in Southwest Peloponnese. I picked some materials that I've never used them before to try them and harm myself first to see if they really work, and because they're in a better price. Generally, I have to say that after the crisis, because at the crisis, Greeks are not good consumers. And during crisis, we had this phenomenon of many Chinese, first stage Chinese, because I don't blame Chinese, but the first generation were crap in many, in machinery and everything. So many Greeks picked this back then in terms of tiles, in terms of isolation materials, in terms of kitchen cabinetry as well. And but now the market has a nice level in Greece. And because we're a small market, this is a good thing in Greece. Because we're a small market, if you work with crop, you get out of the business. Yeah. You don't have it's our kamari, which is kamari in English. It's our pride. Yes. To say that we're in the business the last 45 years. Yeah. It's I hate this as an atmosphere. I don't want to live with the past, but it's good and shows that you have the credibility. So the materials prove that if you're still here, you're using good craftsmanship and good materials.
Absolutely. And we see that as well. So I want to talk about, you have this background, entrepreneur background, you study in the UK, you become Greece's first official apprentice, right? Big deal. You build a successful business. You've done marquee projects all around Greece. Also coinciding, you become a TV personality again, on a show called Cash or Trash.
Yes.
Okay. And it's on the Star TV network.
Yes.
Okay. And you're a staple on the show, and you're one of the panel. And it's basically like back in the States, it was like the traveling roadshow where people would bring antiques and they would quote it and try to find that. So talk to me, how did you even get into this? What has it done for you now, like for you personally, your personal brand, your career? And do you actually enjoy it? Can you make money off this?
It was a funny show that appeared, and it's really successful overseas, in Europe as well. And I had an invitation from the production company. At first I was scared because, of course, I'm collecting stuff. That's why they called me, because I'm collecting old motorbikes, some cars, and also items, from the renovation. When we go in an old building, you see sometimes treasures over there. Yeah. And that's how I started collecting lamps, furnishing, artwork, and all this. So I had an invitation. It was a really nice project. And I said yes. We enjoyed it a lot. Of course, it takes a lot of time of our business time, but they're very well organized. So we spend some specific days and then we're free. It's fun. It has good numbers. Yeah. People love it. It's
great production. Right?
Yeah, the productions are beautiful. The weekends we started playing, being on air afternoon during weekends.
Amazing.
Saturday, and now it's a daily show.
It's a daily show.
Every single, yes.
So how many episodes have you filmed up until now?
Finally, we will do 100 and something. 100. No. We had 240 items the first season. Yeah. More than 60 episodes.
No way.
Yes.
That's huge.
And the plan is for next year to have a daily show as well, and not because the daily show right now is on repeat.
Yeah.
So it's going to become bigger and bigger. I'm with the 4 other buyers there.
Yeah, and they're all standard. Like you guys are always on every episode.
Yes.
Okay.
3 basic ones. We change 3 other ones that we change. 2 other ones that we change.
Amazing.
Yes, it's funny. It's interesting. I collect things that I was looking for. It's nice because we don't have the chance to have our phones and check what is going on. So it has a concept that is really working sometimes for the buyer, sometimes for the seller. It's fun. Of course, I'm trying to not monetize this because after all, it's not my core business. I'm not planning to become a TV star yet, but I'm trying to find ways to use all this reputation and in my advance, of course, as Grant Cardone says, money follows attention. So attention is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're credible in your work and your business, people follow you, and you have an extra thing to remember you about. And don't forget, I also have a powerboat charters, the chartering company with big 40-feet
That's right.
powerboats that we own. We don't broke. We're not brokers.
So you have your own skipper or captain?
Yes, we have skipper. It's skippered because they're really big ones.
Okay.
They can take you from Athens to Mykonos in 1.5 hours.
Jeez.
So Aegean-Sea is something easy for them.
Yeah.
It's something that we don't make a living out of it. I mean, it makes good money. It's a really good status as well because we have to sell all these things to many clients. We haven't been there.
No.
Prepare yourself.
100%.
Prepare yourself this summer.
So a client comes, hey, I want to open something in Patmos. I want to build it. You can take them on your boat there? Like that's within distance? Or is that?
Patmos is a little bit tiring. But if you want it for the weekend, you're a good client, you'll take it for free. And
you'll go
I'll
out there.
make my good PR thing.
That's a good PR. That's amazing.
It has to be a chain, all these services.
Yeah.
And I believe that you have to give to your clients services and education first.
Absolutely.
And then everything comes. If they trust you and they see that you're good on this, this, I believe we believe in our company a lot to educate people, to educate our clients. It's really important. This as well.
I know it from our relationship, and it's always about personal betterment. It's always about making yourself better. Dude, like you're good at it. Like, look, this beautiful thing. We go out for dinner the other night. You bring me this amazing Kykladik art piece, right? And then you give one for my business partner back in New York. And
yes.
you have this thing where you just like to connect people, keep good connections. You can't teach that, right? You can't teach someone how to do that.
You're right.
And I appreciate that. The last segment, I want to talk about family, work-life balance, right? And then what do you do to better yourself? You're in your mid-40s now, right? You've been successful in business, right? You're on TV now. You're doing stuff. How do you keep pushing where you're just saying, hey, I'm good right now. I make my money, or nope, I just want to keep being the better version of myself?
No. One life, my friend. One life. The most beautiful. If someone has told me back then that your 40s will be amazing as they are, with all the difficulties and all the problems. 40s is my best era right now.
Yeah,
I live my best life. The experience is already at the back of our head, and so we step on a good level. And now it's time for me I feel like I'm 20. I mean, it's time to take risks. It's time to meet more people, to become better. Now I'm starting becoming better. Trust me, because up to a level, up to an age, you carry things from your childhood age, from your parents, which did the best they could, but sometimes it's not the best practice.
Different framework there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to try to change your mindset and also work on your subconscious that controls a lot of stuff in our everyday life, and do things that improve you. And family is, of course, something that I love. It's a daily process as well. The relationship with your woman, with your wife, with your partner. And now that my kids are 11 and 13, I'm trying to put, some educational stuff in them, but not be the dad that, is not very attractive.
Barking all the time. But you're
yes.
very hands-on with your boys, right? So you have 2 sons.
Yes.
You're very hands-on. How is it with boys? So I have 3 daughters, and I always said, I feel like I would be an asshole of a father because I would want them to do what I've done, and you got to do this. And it's like balancing that, where with girls, I could be a little more delicate. How is it with boys? Like, do you bite your tongue a lot so you're not that guy?
Thank God I'm not that guy, and I'm not that guy since day one. When I hold Chris in my hands, I said, you're an individual person. You're not my kid. You're something that God blessed me in universe to bring in life, and you're individual. I'll do the best for you, but you have to keep going on with your life.
That's beautiful.
It's not my possession.
Yeah.
My kid is not a possession. And thanks God, Sonia has the same mindset. So we see them even now as kids, as individuals. And I never push them, never, to do something that I didn't do, or to do something that I do.
Right.
Only skiing, to be honest. The only thing that I push them to learn is ski, because I love mountains. I love winter ski. Yeah. And, during summer, you can go to the beach, read a book, play rackets, snorkel, dive.
Sure.
Surf. You have so many things to do during summer, but during winter, you have to go and have a winter sport, or else you'll end up in a tavern eating and smoking. So the only thing I did in my life to push them and learn, and thanks God, they learn, they know a lot.
And they love it, and they're good at it. Right?
Ski, they're good, and we have good time as a family on the slopes. On the other, all the other are by themselves. All we do as parents right now is to give them chances to taste things, to try things. Music. Next year, no, that I don't like. It's languages that is good for them, and thanks God they follow up. So they're good on learning, but not things that I like. I give them, sometimes I become the classical Greek dad, to let's go to the museum to see. Dad, we don't. Okay.
But expose them to it.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, let's do it.
So growing up in this system and having boys and knowing the constraints of living in a country like Greece, right, or the Mediterranean, is your goal for them to study outside of Greece and eventually, not because you don't love them, but move away, go to another market? Or like, what are you thinking? Because that you can control, whether they study outside of the country or not.
No. My dream is to live their life and to do whatever they want. Of course, I give them now pictures to visualize and to think that Greece is just a part of the planet, and they have to experience and live everywhere. They can do anything they want. Of course, I give them some Greek values that I believe in. Yep. To love their country, to respect their history. But I don't want them to be the Greeks that live only with the past. Life is there and belongs to them. So I'm trying not to give them, to try to create a future for them in Greece, to be honest with you. I have faced a lot of difficulties. I would be happy if they have time to spend here and have a good living here, but because the quality of life is good. But this sun and this sea is also not killing us, but it's also very expensive. Let me say that. It's
very expensive.
It's very expensive now, the sun.
And from the outside,
this blue.
Yeah, but from the outside as well. When I was 19, I did an internship in Greece, okay, in Kerkira. Coming here, I'm like, I want to live in Greece. I love it. I'm there every summer. I love everything about Greece. Well, it's a vacation. You're going to love vacation anywhere you go. I did a year internship and I saw what it's like. I'm like, I'm good. I go back. I appreciate it more when I could come for a few weeks in the summer and experience Greece. Well, now with work, I'm here every couple months. That's great. But you can still love your country and appreciate it versus when you're here every day and it's just about the beach and the whatever, and you could complain all day. If you have the opportunity, right?
Exactly.
Like, never disconnect from your country. But it's not just about beach and coffee and cigarettes all day.
Exactly, my friend. Exactly, my friend. When I have to spend 45 minutes in my car for 7 kilometers, same as walking.
Yeah, and you hustle though. Like your story, and I see it, and we talk about it. You don't stop.
No.
Like, you don't stop. You're on this island. You're coming back. You're grinding. You're at the factory that's making this. You're at your kids' soccer. You're with your wife out for like. It's nonstop, and I guess that's good, right? Like, you want to keep. While we're here and we're healthy and we're alive,
exactly,
you try to maximize, because it's so easy to get into a routine like, we're good.
It is. I've done both. So I've picked the active side of myself. And it's only one life. Now we're healthy, we can achieve everything. And, because we lost more than 10 years with all this crisis thing in Greece, now I have, all the power and the fire in me to do things. And the only thing I follow, and I follow I'm very, very, πώς είναι αυστηρός?
Strict.
All right.
Yep.
The only thing I follow, and I'm very strict, is my sleep time. I take my 7 hours, no matter what.
Religiously, good for you.
Yes,
man.
it's my anabolic.
Yeah.
And after 40s, that's the only thing that I follow a lot. I follow, religiously. All the rest, yes, let's do it, man. It's one life. It's beautiful. After all, it's my life. I have partners, I have friends that, So it's fun to have a dinner and talk about business. It's fun to go to the stadium to watch your kid playing and be on the phone sometimes. Why not? You have to put things. 24 hours are not enough.
Not enough.
But they are.
That's a good way of putting it.
They are.
The sleep's a big deal. How do you go about networking? So internationally, and I want to put up your contact information, everything. If I'm someone who has some money and I want to invest in Greece, explain what you can do for them. Because the one thing, Greece also has a bad reputation, right? And I don't want this podcast just to be about Greece because you're doing a lot of stuff, but it has a reputation of be careful, they're going to steal your money, you're going to get screwed. And a good chunk of the time, that's true. Right? It could be true from the taxi guy, from that. But in general, that's not the case.
Exactly.
And you've worked with extremely wealthy people from outside of the country investing and building stuff here. And they've obviously trusted you to be a point of contact for everything. You may not be an expert in this, but you know someone that you can vouch for and so on. So like anyone that's interested, they get in contact with you. Like what's that process like?
Yes, most of them have something in Greece, used to have something in Greece, a house from their parents, so we help them out directly to renovate it. And now if you have money and you want to come, of course we have to have a discussion to see what is your goal.
Yep.
Holiday house, money, of course, everything now, that's good. Has always a return on investment idea, atmosphere. We're not building something. We're not putting money somewhere just to have a leisure. Everything comes to at the end. Everything ends up at the question mark: how much money would I make if I would invest on this? Not only if I live. So we have a really clear discussion. We have our suggestions concerning the city. We know the city really well, of Athens especially. Southern suburbs, very expensive now, for example. North, that is still in good prices, but has a fewer opportunities there. So we make a plan according to what the investor is about to invest in, and we do... we plan it, and we start bringing suggestions, from the islands, from the plots, concerning the real estate.
Yeah.
Okay. And usually it works. I mean, we find something good. We have the expertise and the Greek know-how to avoid agents that still are not credible, to avoid, to find good architects if they don't want to work with us, to good civil engineers to do all the paperwork. And to discuss freely about some black money that is not a process for us, but exists out there.
And how to navigate it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Because it's difficult and, it's a practice in many, many, many parts of businesses. So it has to be a clear conversation with them to understand where they're going to invest in. And usually it works well.
Absolutely.
Delivery is working much, much better than 10 years ago. Of course, and you know what? It's all this atmosphere. It's so nice to be in Greece. I mean, most of them come rarely in Greece. Usually they come 1, 2, 3 times and then they just come for the delivery.
Yes.
But even on problems, when they think that they have something so beautiful, they have an apartment with a view, they have an apartment with a balcony in the sun. I have some Canadians now that all they ask me is, find me an apartment we call them retire, with the upper story apartments.
Okay.
Just with a small balcony to enjoy the sun. I don't need nothing else. This is something insane when you want to put money just to have a little bit of sun on your skin.
That's incredible.
Yes. So sometimes it's easier for us, of course, because this request, for example, we can go low budget.
Yep.
That's the flexibility we have. We have a really good, if we want to pay the sign in our company, it's flexibility and nice aesthetics.
Yeah,
and of course, credibility on the construction work. It's nice. We really enjoy working the last 10 years with foreigners because they have one good thing. The best good thing on working with people from overseas is this. When you ask for 10,000 euros, next day you see 10,000 euros in your bank account. Greeks don't have it still. Sometimes they don't.
You're chasing.
You're asking for 10,000 and they put you 5 and say, it's not enough? No, it's not enough.
Right,
you need 10 for this.
Yeah, it's
so
the
if you have the cash flow and a good cooperation, everything rolls out.
Absolutely.
And the personal contact that, I don't know, in many companies in Canada or US does not exist, is number one thing that we follow and we maintain, the personal contact. Feel free to call me, my staff, and discuss. Not always find a solution,
right? But
be there for you.
Consult and bounce ideas.
Be there for you. And the office hours, is something that we don't have it in Greece. So this is it's really fascinating for guys that want to put money, that they know that in 8 o'clock in the afternoon, they can call you.
Absolutely.
And ask you something.
Well, it blows my mind here, and you're the exception. Meetings in Greece, right? So I'm here 2 days, and in 2 days, over a dozen meetings and dinners, and I try to maximize it and get out. I've now started leaving a 2-hour buffer between meetings. Hey, we're going to meet at 10 o'clock. 11:15 is when we're actually meeting, or that person. You're different. Hey, let's meet at 10. Boom, 10. We're right there, right? But it's challenging. At first, I'm like, but we said we're going to meet at noon, for example, and there's traffic and another meet, and it's just this floating schedule that I've learned. Unless you're working with bigger corporations here, where it's very by the book, you gotta adjust. You can't come in here because you're gonna get frustrated and you're just gonna want to leave.
It's a bad habit we have, and we still have it. Yeah. Here, of course, traffic is an issue. Public transportation that we don't use is an issue. For example, don't forget, I have to use my scooter 80% of the year. Wow. I'm running 1, 2, 3 businesses. I have more than 20 people working, and I have to take the scooter to do my thing, to collect money.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, $1 million business in Italy or in Canada for sure. Someone that runs all this should have a scooter and run from place to place.
But you look cool while you're doing it. It's okay.
Yeah, scooter is a heaven in Greece. Of course, we risk our lives. Huh?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But sometimes I'm telling you that you have to be. I don't know if it is Filotimo, but you have to be very, very to have this Ulysses mindset. Remember Ulysses?
Yes.
That always find a way
to make it work.
To make it work and go to Ithaca finally after all these years.
When you're done, exactly.
Omiros wrote Ulysses, I think the modern Greek, although it's 2,500 years ago in age.
It still makes sense.
Makes sense.
It makes sense.
We have to do this. But concerning the appointments, yes, you're right. We're not credible on this.
Yeah, it's the timing aspect. Let me ask you, last segment, any advice on, you're all about improvement of yourself. Any books that you read recently, any resources online that you go to where you're like, hey, you know what? This inspires me to go out today and do that. Anything that you see that you could share?
Always. Right now, my apocalypse is that I'm finding ways to work on my subconscious mind. I'm reading books and I'm going to seminars to see that finally this thing that does the 95% of our daily actions and controls our actions, the subconscious, is taking a lot and huge part of our lives, and the paradigms that we have in our life from our parents, from our grandparents, and from our working and living situations are affecting us. And keeping us from expanding.
Right.
So right now, this is my aim goal, to every single day to understand what subconscious does, to control it. In a sense, we can control the subconscious, but to find ways to, and there are ways to change habits that are bad for us. For example, now I'm trying to lose and throw, not lose actually, that's the correct word, some extra kilos that I carry the last 2 years after COVID.
Sure.
Subconscious does a really tricky game on this, and does not help me out. I try to follow my diet, and then in the afternoon I open the fridge, for example. So I'm trying to improve myself concerning working on my mind a lot, and I see this improvement improves people around me as well, because the frequency changes, and I'm attracting things. I'm attracting good people in the same frequency, which works as well, because everything is energy.
Yes.
So a part of my study right now is this, and I really love it. Of course, we all have mentors, maybe from books, maybe from websites or YouTube. I think Robert Kiyosaki is well-known.
Very inspirational.
Very inspirational. And what he says, and especially in Greek, that works so much with all these things we have in our mind, what money is and how money, it's not a taboo. Here in Greece, still money is a taboo. And although money is everywhere,
yes,
money is endless, and we still have this mindset of not being able to collect it, and be bad if you collect money.
Absolutely.
You're bad. So, I follow Gary Vee. I love his style, talking
great
about
energy,
about love, talking about all the things that he says are, all this gratitude that he shows, all this effort that he does. He doesn't stop as well.
And he's genuine.
He's genuine, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
It comes off as genuine, right? Like what he's doing. Yeah.
Yes, and he follows what he says. This is very important to say, to live as you expose yourself. Of course, I love biographies, but you have to learn a lot out of biographies. Elon Musk is a genius man that is changing humanity, and I'm following all he does and all he says, and I try to...
Do you think he's getting the credit? Like, I feel like we look at other innovators, the last one on that level, in my opinion, was probably like a Steve Jobs that we talked about, right? He kind of revolutionized that game. And then before that, does it go back to like the Rockefellers and this? Mm-hmm. But right now, because he's alive, I feel like he's not getting enough credit for what this guy is actually doing.
Oh,
right? Non-political, but like the space, the cars, this. Genius doesn't even describe what he's doing. He's revolutionary. But right now, people are just kind of, oh, he's buying Twitter to do this. I'm like, oh my God, that's so myopic in what you're looking at.
Exactly.
Pretty remarkable what he's doing.
He's amazing. He's amazing. Yeah. And if you follow him, and if you have the ability to see what is going on, he brings future right in your your desk.
Yeah. And simplifies it.
Yes, simplifies it. And it's one of the few people that go out of all this new globalization, out of this, there are 5 people that control everything. Of course, I'm trying to find what he controls. Finally, he controls all humanity. He's facing governments. Now he's over governments.
Yep.
He has superpowers right now. He has the #1 satellite network on the universe, right? He has done so many things out of nowhere.
Free speech. Now he's attacking free speech.
Free speech. Left or right?
Left or, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm not. So 2 years ago, we were fortunate enough, we won a piece of his business at the GIGAFACTORY in Austin, Texas.
Fantastic.
I think like 11 million square foot facility. We got a section of the office space. And there were email trails with his architecture team that we would see him copied on, rejecting or commenting on a certain light fixture that he didn't like the cutoff. He prefers this. We're talking about one of the most powerful men in the world, richest men in the world, down to that level of detail. Blew my mind. And yet we're running companies and we see people in our circles where they think they're so important. That's my biggest pet peeve. Anyone acting like they're busier than you or more important. I don't care if you're the prime minister or the guy making my hamburger. Mm-hmm. We're all human. And that was a real eye opener. Like, hey, this guy's down on that level in the details and we're acting like assholes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it blew my mind. And I always use that as an example. Like, his name commenting on something so, to him, like, doesn't make sense. Come on.
Can you imagine saying 20 years ago that I want to build #1 space company and send missiles up and down again?
Yeah. Oh, you're crazy, dude. What are you talking about? That's what you would say. You're crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, and he's doing it. So
he said, I will, go against all these giants, Toyota, Ford, and make electric cars.
Yeah.
Not something like
them.
or a car, electric cars, 100%.
Yeah.
The economy changed because of him.
He's incredible.
He is.
While we're talking about it, Athens, right? As a city, it's booming. It's doing great. Tourists coming here, what are some things they should see in Athens, like from a local? Okay, the Acropolis, the basic stuff, but what are a couple things that people should see? And then we can definitely wrap this up.
Athens is fun. The good thing in Athens is that from 1.5 average staying, and now it's becoming 2.5. It's almost 3 days that you can spend in Athens, that have good time. Of course, Acropolis, of course, the new museum. I'm expecting so much in 10 years' time, the new museum that will be built and have 50,000 items there. It's close to Patisi, it's close to Polytechnio.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yep.
So, for people coming for a weekend or for 3 nights, which is more than enough, 3 nights.
Yep.
Museums. The Modern Museum is a place that worth visiting. Cycladic Museum is something good that maybe people don't know.
Absolutely.
And get a good boost of, they don't have to go to Cyclades to see all the civilization back then.
By the way, did we talk about this?
Yes.
Did we talk about this on the pod or before?
You said something about...
we talked about this.
Yes. It's 4,000 years old.
Yeah,
amazing.
Incredible.
Nice restaurants. I would suggest nice restaurants. There are plenty of nice restaurants in Athens right now.
So good.
Even Michelin star ones, but even and it's good that finally you don't have to go to Plaka to have dinner. This steak in a small plate is not the Greek Athenian thing that you should go to. Don't forget to go to Poseidon Temple in Sunion.
Yes. It's worth a drive out there, go for a swim.
Yes. What else, guys? And try to find as many rooftops as you can to enjoy Parthenon, Acropolis, and all the area. We had breakfast before. You see how beautiful. Jesus. You can see even the islands from Athens in a clear sky.
There's nothing more magical than that. Still speechless. How do people stay in contact with you? Puremade.gr.
Our Instagram is a really funny page, Instagram. I'm planning now, after your support, because you pushed me a lot, to have also a podcast or a YouTube channel more organized to see the before and after, because in our business, before and after is nothing.
Right.
We see a totally demolished house, and we see the final picture in front of us. But for a client, for someone that is out of the business, this before and after is amazing.
Yes, absolutely. And the process from the before to the after. Yeah.
So we'll try to, as Gary said, to take as much material as we can and educate people, and also give material to the people to understand a few things. So we'll be there as well. Star Channel to enjoy my show. Powerboat charters to charter one of our boats during summer or winter. Trust me, winter is beautiful.
It is.
Go now to Kimolos in 2 hours and spend a weekend there. You can understand. The islands during winter are beautiful. And if you come to Greece for a week, try 2 days in any island, from Aegina to a more distant one. And of course, I hope that if we put the planes as well, the hydroplanes,
yes,
much more. So, and I wish hydroplanes take over as well. So many more smaller islands without any airport will be more
accessible.
Yeah. Patmos is a beautiful island. Greece is beautiful. And go get some assets right now. Greece is still cheap. The return is going to be huge. I believe in Greece very, very much, not because I'm Greek. I don't know if in total all this interview and chat with you, I don't know what the idea of Greece is giving to our friends out there, but
the phone's going to be ringing off the hook. People want to throw their money in the country.
Thank you, buddy. It's a really beautiful country. We have really good quality of life and products as well. We shouldn't forget about that.
Oh, yeah.
You can get, if you eat meat, delicious meat, Greek meat, goat, sheep, milk, vegetables. This is what kept us in Greece, to be honest with you.
Mediterranean diet.
Mediterranean diet and the access, I have a really good relationship with my Australian cousins. And George, my cousin, said, have you understand? My cousin from Australia calls me and says, you shouldn't have any problem in your life. You're half an hour away from Santorini. Can you believe that you're half an hour away from Santorini? And I said, oh my God, yes, he's right.
He's right. In Australia, you're half an hour away to nothing still. Or in Canada,
Although he's well made, he's waiting for 2 weeks in his life during the year to come and spend 5 days in Santorini and have a coffee in front of this beautiful
for a second
view.
That's it.
So yes, we're lucky to be here. We have a lot of work to do, and thanks God, people like you bring more good reputation in Greece, and I hope good money as well. And I see Greece is becoming hot after, during 60s, Greece was really hit in fashion, even in trend.
The Onassis years?
Yes. I don't want to live with the past. We have to create a new era for Greeks, a new lifestyle, a new, for example, I hate nargile, to see everywhere a nargile in a shop. This is not Greek. Of course, I support, of course, Arab friends are welcome. They're beautiful people. They know how to have fun, and they do good investments as well. But
that's not.
No more nargiles in Greece, in Greek taverns. Why?
You're right. You're absolutely right. Look, I'm lucky to have met you. I'm lucky to be sitting here in Athens drinking a coffee with you. The other night we had a beautiful dinner, and this is what I like doing. I don't care if you're a designer, contractor, this person runs a restaurant. I love bringing people together, right? Having good dinners, and good things always happen of it. You met this guy who's a professor. This guy met this guy. And I just love doing that stuff. I want to continue doing that. And we just keep building our network together.
You're a beautiful guy. And this is something that Greece don't have, They don't want to, we still don't have it as Greeks. I don't know why. We don't have this connection. We don't encourage this connection with each other.
Right. It's
something that now starts to change and introduce people and create communities and have, all these things that, there was a lot of privacy, a lot of, η κατσίκα του γείτονα,
the neighbors go.
The neighbors go. I mean, we take care of only of your house and your garden and nothing else. No, I believe in common.
Absolutely. Even
good.
With competitors, even back in the States, I'll have dinners with clients who may be competing in the end. And it's like, guys, we're still human at the end of the day. And if we have a connection, what's an hour and a half dinner? Right? You could converse and we go back to it. There's enough. We sell lighting. Okay. You sell construction services and this type of, there's always going to be competitors, right? But you could still talk and then you go and compete.
I believe in competition, but on the other hand, that's one of my best things that my dad learned me. You should be worried when the pie is all yours. You have to cut the pieces and try to take the larger one, of course.
Yeah.
But the pie belongs to many. If the pie is yours, the pie can go off and you have nothing.
Whole pie, yeah. It's a great way to put it.
It's number one rule in business as well. Never have only one producer and only one client.
Absolutely. And I've fallen flat on my face having one main client paying for everything over the course of my career. It's dangerous, but it's also hard when you're in the middle of it and they're paying your bills and you're busy. But when they go, they go.
More to come, my friend. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Invigorate Your Business with George Stroumboulis. Please hit the subscribe and like buttons and follow me on all the main podcast streaming channels. Also, please share your comments when you can. I appreciate your help in expanding this network to a worldwide audience. Until next time, stay invigorated.